All right, welcome back. So if you thought UPI was the end of the story for digital payments in India, well, think again. We are on the verge of a massive shift. Today, we're jumping headfirst into the RBI's central bank digital currency, also known as the e-Rupee. And we're going to see how this isn't just about how we pay for things, it's about changing the very idea of what money is.
Now I know exactly what you're thinking. Oh great, another digital wallet? I've already got GPay, I've got PhonePay. Why on earth do I need one more? And you know what? That's a totally fair question. It's the first thing on everyone's mind, especially since we've gotten so comfortable with how easy UPI has made everything.
But here's the twist. This isn't just another app. Not even close. The e-Rupee is a completely different animal. What if the money on your phone could actually become intelligent? What if it could follow rules all by itself? This is a huge leap. We're moving from just digitizing the movement of money to digitizing the money itself. So let's really break down what that means.
Okay, first things first. To understand where we're headed, we have to be absolutely crystal clear on where we are right now. So let's talk about the system we all use dozens of times a day, UPI.
Think about what happens when you make a UPI payment. You're not actually sending digital money from your phone to a shopkeeper's phone. Nope. You're sending a message, a secure digital instruction to your bank, telling it to move money from your account to their account. UPI is this brilliant communication layer that sits on top of the banking system. It's the messenger, but it isn't the actual money. And this brings us to the e-Rupee. This is not another messenger. This is the money. It's a direct digital form of cash issued by the one and only Reserve Bank of India.
Okay, let's look at this side by side, because this is where it all clicks. With UPI, you're using a digital messenger. The e-Rupee, that's actual digital cash. And that leads to the most important difference right here in the second row. Liability. Money in your bank account, which you move with UPI, is a liability of that commercial bank. But the e-Rupee is a direct liability of the RBI itself. It has the same sovereign guarantee as that physical banknote in your wallet. And for security, that's a total game changer.
Let's put that into perspective. Right now, if, and it's a very big if, but if a bank were to fail, the money you have in your account is only insured up to this number, 5 lakh rupees. Anything above that amount is technically at risk. And this quote just nails the difference. Because the e-Rupee is a direct liability of the central bank, it's considered theoretically risk-free. It's like holding cash, but without any of the physical risks like theft or loss. We have never had this level of security in a digital form before. Ever.
But hold on, because security is really just the beginning. The truly mind-blowing feature of the e-Rupee is its potential to be intelligent. We are talking about the dawn of programmable money.
Because the e-Rupee is basically lines of code, you can embed rules and conditions right into the money itself. Suddenly, money stops being this passive thing that just sits there. It becomes an active asset that can carry out instructions all on its own based on time, location, or its intended purpose. This just opens up an entire universe of possibilities.
Let's make this real with an example. Imagine you're a freelancer. You get a payment in e-Rupees. A preset rule, basically a little self-executing contract, kicks in the moment the money arrives. First, payment received. Second, that contract instantly splits it. Third, maybe 20% is automatically sent to a locked tax wallet that you can't even touch until it's time to pay taxes. And fourth, the other 80% lands right in your main wallet ready to spend. That last-minute scramble at tax time, it could just disappear. Compliance becomes automatic.
And you can apply this logic everywhere. Think about it. Purpose-bound allowances for your kids that can only be spent on books, not video games. Or government subsidies that are guaranteed to be used for their intended purpose, like fertilizer for farmers. And here's the real kicker: offline functionality. The e-Rupee can be transferred from one phone to another without an internet connection, which could finally bring true digital finance to every last village in the country.
Okay, this is all incredibly cool, but let's bring it back home. What does all this mean for you, for your finances? How should you actually start thinking about this new world?
So before we talk strategy, let's address the elephant in the room: privacy. And the design here is actually pretty smart. The idea is that for small, everyday transactions, buying your chai or your groceries, it remains private, just like cash. But for large value transactions, yes, those are traceable. For the average person, this isn't about surveillance. It's a massive security feature against fraud and illegal activities.
So here's the game plan for this new era. Start thinking in 2 layers. You've got your convenience layer. This is for your daily coffee, your bills, all that low-value stuff.
Keep using UPI for this. It's fantastic, it's fast, everyone has it. But then you have your security layer. This is your core emergency fund, that 3 to 6 months of expenses you have saved up. This is where the e-Rupee is perfect. You can hold it in an RBI Direct wallet, giving you sovereign-backed security that is completely separate from any risks in the commercial banking system.
Look, this isn't some far-off future. This transition is happening right now. We are literally watching money evolve from being a simple, passive tool into an intelligent, programmable asset. The e-Rupee isn't just a new payment app. It's a whole new way of thinking about your wealth, your security, and your financial freedom. The question really isn't if you'll be using it, but how you're going to use its power.